Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video, coming to you from hot and humid Western Australia. Very warm at the moment and extremely humid. As you can see, the post sweat absolutely running off me. Today, we're going to be looking at the pens I'm going to be using during February of 2024. The theme this month, Use Me Up. It's about taking pens that have already got ink in them, writing them out, cleaning them out, putting them away. The aim, unless I need to ink a pen up for a particular video, it's not to ink any pens up at all this month. Let's see how I go though. Join me now, down on the table. We'll take a look at the 6 pens that I'm going to be starting this month with. Welcome down to the table. Pens in use for February of 2024. My first Use Me Up of the year. And we're going to start here with the Natami Inception. This is a Japanese pen. Beautiful blue colour here. More like a, maybe, is it like a turquoise or maybe even a teal colour? Very hard to describe it. Transparent, so you can actually see the converter there through it. I'm going to turn this around. The body is faceted, so I'm not sure if this is coming over on the camera, but hopefully we can capture. There we go, capturing the light on these facets. So it's not round, it's made up of all these different facets. So it's a nice tactileness to it. We'll unscrew the cap. Here we've got the nib. Again, very nice writing nib. And then the pen. We've got this cartridge converter. Came with it. In the hand, does feel a little bit on the thin side, but it's a nice length. So we've got here a Natami Inception. It's got a fine nib. So if anything's against it, it's the fact it's a fine nib. The price for this pen, 26 Aussie dollars. The nib feels stiff. We'll get more into that as we go through the month though. The ink by Diamine. And it's Eau de Nil. I think this is a nice match for the pen. So it's an unusual shade of blue for the ink as well. Drying times, we go immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. A little teeny tiny smudge, not worth doing the 1 minute test. This paper is Oxford Optic paper, 90 GSM paper, nice and fountain pen friendly. Just for full information, the current temperature is 22 Celsius and it's 70% humidity. All those are little factors that can affect the drying times. So just so you got that full picture. But yeah, this Natami Inception, very thin line. That's the only thing which may put me off. It's a personal choice. I do prefer broad nibs, whereas this has a fine, and it's a Japanese fine. Not sure how I'm going to get on with it, but it'll be interesting to see, as I say, as we go through the month. So that's the Natami Inception. So from Japan, we're going to jump over to China, and this is the Majohn P136. This one is a piston filling pen, and if we take that off, I'll try and hold this up to the camera and see if we can get it to focus for you. We've got here, it's not a window as such, it's a series of slits so you can see the ink level. So you've got a rough idea how much ink you've got left in there. This is a nice dark blue colour, very nice looking pen. It's a standard simple looking pen. You could easily take this to a meeting and not have anyone question. In the hand, very, very nice. Nice length, nice width. Nice weight as well. Not light, but not heavy. Number 6 size steel nib. This is the nib that came with it. One of the things I found that's nice with Majohn pens, they're actually fairly simple to swap the nibs. And what I've got is normally Yoho style nibs. And I've had a couple of pens where I've put them in, had no issues. But just be aware if you're changing the nibs, you might get an issue with it. So if you're going to do that, be very careful. We've got a Majohn P136. This one is also a fine nib. Very similar line width to what we're seeing with that Inception, maybe a little bit slightly wider. The price for the pen, 37 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Herbin, and it's Éclat de Saphir. So nice sapphire blue ink. Again, with that, even though it's quite dark and this ink is a lot lighter, I think that's a nice match. Drying times, so we go immediate, 10 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds, again, we're dry. Remember, temperature. We've had a lot of hot days here. Does slightly affect the paper. You know, ideally, I'd love to keep this in a temperature and humidity controlled environment. Just can't afford that. I mean, that costs me a fortune. So it does sit just to my shelves, but I do keep the books closed, and I try and protect them so they're kept out of the sunlight, kept in the shade as much as I can. But that's the Majohn P136. Move the page up ever so slightly. Pen number 3. We started in Japan, we then jumped to China. Now we're going to travel all the way to Germany and the Kaweco Sport. This is in the white coconut, so it's a slightly translucent pen. There we go. Hopefully you can see there, Kaweco Sport. I'll turn it around because it feels more comfortable this way. This is a pocket pen. When I post it, it's very nice. It's a nice length. Teeny bit on the thin side. Expect that though, it's a pocket pen, that's what it's designed for. Unposted, very, very small, next to unusable. What I've done with this is I've actually eyedropped it. So I put some silicone grease around the threads between the body and the section. And then with a blunt nose needle, I put my ink into the body. I actually filled it all the way up. You see, I've got a little bit left in here. Not a lot, maybe about a quarter. This is why this is a use me up month, about using up the pens. Does come with some cartridges. You can get a converter. The converter's only tiny, and I've got to be honest, I struggle with the converter. Kaweco cartridges, though, I just refill them with a blunt nose syringe. I do find, though, sometimes that they come loose when I've done that. That's why I'm experimenting with eyedropper in this. Posted though, it's very nice, as I've already shown you. The nib, this is a Kaweco nib. This one on here, this is a stub nib. This is a 1.1 nib. So we've got here a Kaweco. I'm just trying to shake it a little bit because the ink in here has got some shimmer. Kaweco Sport with a 1.1 stub nib. Price-wise, it's 41 Aussie dollars. I will be honest with you, I do think that's a very reasonable and quite a good value for this pen. The ink is by Oster, and it's Grun-Gilt. So like a greeny gold colour, and then we'll have a look at in a second, there might be some gold shimmer in there. Drying times, so we go immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Another one, dry at 30 seconds. Now let's see, can we see any of that shimmer? I'm just going to hold it up. I can definitely see a load of it to my eye. Virtually every letter has got beautiful gold shimmer. I'm not sure if that's going to show up over the camera. I'm just trying different angles because sometimes what I see to my eye is different than what you see over the camera, but loads there to my eye. So that's the Kaweco Sport with Oster Grun-Gilt. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. That's my 3 pens under $100. Next 3 pens over 100 Aussie dollars. So the next pen, this is from a different country again. So we've gone Japan, China, Germany. Now we're going all the way here through to India. So we've got here the Ranga Model 5. Massive pen, isn't it? This is the largest Ranga pen that they make. It is a beast of a pen. I'm just going to lay that down there. I'm going to fetch in that Kaweco Sport. Just look at there, the difference in size between the two of them. The cap comes off, still reveals a very big pen, very wide pen, very comfortable to use pen. This one comes with a cartridge converter, so there's the converter in it. It's all resin. If you wanted to, you could possibly eyedropper this. I have absolutely zero intention of doing that. It would just hold absolutely so much ink, and there's no ink window, so you never know how much you've got left. And I reckon eyedropping this might last me a year. The nib on here, they've got a massive range of nibs. I opted for a Ranga nib. So this is a Ranga broad nib. And as I say, the pen, just so comfortable. So we've got here a Ranga Model 5 with a broad nib. Price-wise, massive increase now, 142 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Oster, and it's Ryde green. Gorgeous, nice, bright green ink here. Drying times, so we've got immediate, 10 seconds. Nearly dry there, 30 seconds. After a minute again, as we're seeing with all the others, that's now nice and dry. I often refer to this pen as the big boy, or sometimes as the Hulk. Just a very, very big pen. So that's the Ranga Model 5. We're going to go back to Japan for the next pen, and we're going to go again opposite end of the size spectrum. We're going to go to Pilot, and this is a Pilot E95S. Again designed as being a pocket pen. So I'm just going to fetch that Kaweco Sport in again, just so we can do a comparison. There's the Sport. And go on, let's fetch the Ranga in. There's that Ranga. Let me just put my finger there to stop it rolling off. Look at the size differences. I would say the Ranga is nearly the same width as them two put together. Let's pop them other two back. Beautiful pen. This is burgundy, and this is described as being champagne. Very nice colour. Unposted, it's very, very small. This is a pen similar to that Kaweco Sport, designed to be used posted. Posted lengthwise, superb, very, very nice. It's got an inlaid nib. So what I do with this pen, I'm very careful with the inks. I don't put any shimmer inks in here. And I won't put any inks in that I think might be able to block that nib, because there's no easy way to take it apart. In fact, I don't even think you can take it apart. Very nice. So it's 14 karat gold nib, nice nib to write with. Does feel a little bit thin, but you get used to that. And although it feels thin, it doesn't seem to cause any aches when I'm writing. The body part here, it's only very short. That comes off. Now the pen did come with a Con 40 converter, and it came with a cartridge. The Con 40 converter, because of the depth of this, you can't actually see the ink level. All you can see is the twist mechanism of the converter. So I don't use the converter. What I do is I just refill this cartridge with whatever ink I want to use. And see, this is another one. Got about half a cartridge there of ink left. So pop that together. We'll go to do some writing. So we've got the Pilot. E95S. I do find this is normally a very wet writer. This is a medium. As I said, it's 14 karat gold. Price-wise, this one is 195 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Lamy, part of the Crystal series, and it's called Topaz. It's actually a brown ink, but I think it works really well with this pen. This is the last of a sample that I had of it. Drying times, so we got immediate, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, again after 30 seconds, another one, nice and dry. So that's the Pilot E95S. For the final starting pen of the month, we're going to go to yet another country. We're going to go to Armenia for a Benu pen. Let's move this page up ever so slightly. So this is the Benu Talisman. This particular pattern is called Dragon's Blood. It's my only Benu pen, mainly because most of them, they're just overly sparkly for me. I do intend eventually to get some more Benu pens. It's not high on the priority list, and as I say, they're very sparkly pens. I like the way this body is faceted. That's the nice thing about this Talisman model. Hopefully the light's capturing those. And then even within these, they're all slightly off alignment. So this facet is in alignment with this facet, but then on the body, we've got the back of the body is faceted slightly offline. So you've got a bit of visual interest in there as well. The nib on here is made by Schmidt. So it's a German nib. I love this nib. It's very, very nice for writing. There we go. It's a broad nib. And then cartridge converter. Not sure how long this one will last. Very little ink left in here. But again, that's the whole idea of this month. It's about using up my pens. So we've got here a Benu Talisman. So I'll have to watch for that as we go through. I said it could be because there's very little ink in here. Broad nib, steel nib, as I say, made by Schmidt. Price-wise, 230 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine, and it's Best Wishes. So I've got a number of issues there. As I say, could be because it's getting so low on ink. So it could be that I don't even make it through a day with this. We'll have to see how we go. I do like this pen though. Drying time. There's immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Do you know that one? This is actually worth doing a minute test. 1 minute. After a minute there, as we expect, that one, it's now dry. I'm just going to hold this ink up here. So this ink, it's got like a tealy background. Then we've got red sheen. And then occasionally, I'm struggling to see any on here, we get a nice blue shimmer as well. It's a fairly complex ink. This was part of the Ink Inventor series for 2022. So that's the Benu Talisman. Let's move this out of the way, then we'll take one final look at all the pens. So as for the past couple of months, my wife has now made me a brand new pen roll for this month. The aim is she's going to make me one for each pens in use month this year. This time we've got a nice Doctor Who one. We've got the Angels, we've got Davros, we've got Davros again, we've got the Dalek, we've got Cybermen, and inside we've got, is it Drax? Lady somebody or other who I can't remember, and her assistant. And we've got the Ood. Very nice. So let's start over at this side. Let's move it on over. The other thing that she has done with this, we're improving on the design each month. In here now, I don't know if you can see it, we've now got a fleece lining. Just to give a little bit extra protection for the pens. Also makes it feel a bit more substantial. So the pens for this month. We've got the Natami Inception. in it goes. We've got the Majohn P136. In that goes. We've got the Kaweco Sport. We've got the Hulk, the Ranga Model 5. Will this fit in? Now, not sure if it'll fit in here. Oh, it does. What we've done deliberately, though, I'm going to actually move it. At the end here, this is actually made wider, so it fits in a lot better. We've got the Pilot E95S. And then, finally, we've got the Benu Talisman. And in that goes. Let's fold it over, roll it up, and there's my pens nicely protected and ready to go for the month of February of 2024. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What are your thoughts on my starting lineup? What pens are you starting this month with? Do you use these ideas of a use me up month where you try not to ink any pens up for a month? Why not drop a comment down below? Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.